For as long as I can remember, I've loved to run.
Mommy, jump on Mum. Good luck, Daniel. Did you please?
I couldn't tell you why though. Maybe I was encouraged to do it.
Go, Daniel. Come on, Daniel. Go, young father, go, Dan. Good boy. You can get up. Get up. Clear, hang on. There we are. There's a couple of champions. We've got Cameron Prosser on the left-hand side with the grey jumper coming in a really good time, and Daniel Prosser standing next to him. Hey, very good. Well done.
Maybe it's because I was always half decent at it.
Go, Daniel! Go, Daniel! Step it out! Faster! Go, Daniel! Now, I bet you that's his best time he's ever done. Oh, watching me talking, you hear myself, can't I?
Got the camera on.
Now, do you know that is the best he's done for a long time?
Oh, look at this little one. Go, sweetie.
I can't say. Good boy, Daniel.
Whatever the reason, I've always been drawn to running. Never going too long without tying up the laces and traipsing around.
We have some youngsters. We have Damien Beck, Daniel Potter.
Go, Daniel! Fun run, school. Well done.
But traipsing about won't cut it when it comes to achieving my most ambitious goal yet. A sub 3 hour marathon. If you've followed my journey so far, you'll know that everything's in place for me to knock this goal out the park. In part 1, I proved my fitness was up to scratch after laying down a blazing half marathon personal best time of 1 hour, 21 minutes and 32 seconds, minutes short of my intended goal of 1 hour and 24 minutes. I showed you how I got there in part 2, detailing the course I'll be running, as well as the training philosophy my coach Nick Croft follows to get me into shape. There's nothing else to do now, but put up or shut up. Alright, so it's definitely colder than the half marathon I did in the same place on the same course, roughly the same time, but in the past 20 or so minutes the light has really started coming through. As you can see, that beautiful sunrise that I'll be running into to start the day. You can see just behind me there maybe. No, you can't, too dark. My legs feel absolutely incredible. They feel super duper fresh, really light, really springy, which is great. Everything's going to plan there. Yeah, aside from a little bit of a cold feeling, which will be nice when I start warming up, really warming up. Pretty much perfect so far, can't knock it. After a short briefing session with the crew, the moment had come. Not with any fanfare or starting guns, just a rolling start into the cool winter morning.
Catch you soon, buddy.
I was perhaps a tad enthusiastic with my pacing, but having learnt some tough lessons in the past, I didn't let myself get too carried away. The race carried on like that for the longest time. I was very comfortable just motoring along around the 4 minutes and 10 second per kilometre mark, taking in water every couple of Ks and sucking down a gel every 10 kilometres or so. While the course, as you can see, had some variety when it comes to surface, some easier to run on than others, the morning did have one advantage over your typical road race marathon. Approaching my home base at the cemetery, I could hear the cheers and messages of support and encouragement from ages away. And passing through the small crowd, I'd offer some glimpse as to how I was feeling, and Ben would pull up to reload on supplies for the next big loop, while I soloed the short loop.
Good luck, Dan.
I'd very much like to give a shout out to these special people in my life. My mum flew in from the sunny coast and my grandma from Kingaroy to cheer me on and help however they can. Benny G reprised his role as my mobile support crew, loaded up with gels, water, Powerade, and more cameras than a Spielberg set.
Woo!
I'll grab a gel when you can, Ben.
Alright, mate.
Dennis and Joel braved the cold as well, not just helping cover the run and cheer me on, but also setting up the base camp so everyone could be as comfortable as possible for the race. And finally to Kragos, Kat and Rev for making it out to support me as I approached cutoff. This attempt wouldn't be possible without you, and your generosity means more than getting below 3 ever could.
He's on the goose. I'm in chalk. Let's get him through.
I'm convinced they just melted mint chocolate biscuits.
And it's mint slice.
Right. But I still had some heavy lifting to do as I passed the 30-kilometre mark. Bit of a workout at the moment.
Wind's picked up.
Wind's picked up.
30 k's in.
The next 4 k's will be into the wind.
Then we've got an extended tailwind.
And it'll be a 4k tailwind. And then I'll finish in the wind, but I won't even notice it now.
You'll be flying.
Up to this point, it had been a breeze. Admittedly, I felt no bounce or life in my shoes as they'd been completely bricked after carrying me over 1,000 kilometres in their lifetime. So as you can imagine, my legs weren't feeling super fresh as I reached the pointy end of the race, where runners typically face the wall. Definitely not gonna walk this one in. But it's right there for me, so I'll make the most of it. Enjoy the last 10k.
Yeah.
The worst part, that, and we're past it. After 30 kilometres of just cruising along, striking up conversation with my buddy Ben, I suddenly started feeling fatigued legs.
35. Wow. That's a bloody distance. Oh.
30 seconds up. Oh, nice. Fear of God in your bit.
What, 30 seconds off a 3 hour?
30 seconds up, ahead of pace.
Okay. Alright.
As much as I'm still hitting, faster than pace, it doesn't feel like much margin for error.
Yep. Oh, it's not, but if you maintain what you got, as you know, you'll be right.
Tell you what, it's going to be, before I make that last turn, the stretch is going to be working at it.
Yep.
Like 11 to jump. So, I reckon I'm gonna, on the last loop, like when I'm supposed to finish, I probably have to still run like 700 metres up and back.
Yep.
To get to point 2 and point 2. So
yep.
I'll take the cheers as I pass, but I'll keep running.
Yep. Right. I'll let them know.
Cheers, man. I'll wave my arms like this if I'm actually on pace.
Alright. If you're on distance.
On distance.
Yeah.
With 7 kilometres left in the run, I wasn't convinced it would slow me down enough to fall short of my goal.
4:11. Can't help himself. Just zipping along.
But passing my support crew for the final time at my Long Reach Cemetery base, with 4 kilometres to go, my form was worse for wear, my body was burning up, and the reality of how easy it would be to not make the 3-hour time limit started to set in. Thoughts of tripping on the uneven ground of the common popped up. And what if I'd miscalculated how fast I'd have to do the next few Ks, and I crossed the line with juice in the tank, but slower than I expected? Thanks, buddy. Woo!
Good work, mate. Keep it up.
Travelling along really well. Probably maybe 45 seconds at a time, but I consciously was going slower than that.
Sorry, Ange.
Run in.
Benny boy.
Grinding on physically and mentally, I turned the final corner at the bottom of the loop, beginning the final 2 kilometre charge on soft sand into a monstrous headwind.
Two of Australia's great machines, Holden Commodore and Dan Prosser. There he goes.
Giving it all I've got, lungs burning and form out the window, the finish line was finally in sight.
Come on, Dan! You've done it, mate.
Just over a K left.
Okay.
I'll be back here.
Got it. Ride that wind, mate.
Oh, thanks.
You bloody brake kicked up, mate. So he's just about to turn around. He's hundreds of metres off finishing his marathon. The wind's picked up. There he goes, he's turned. There he is. He's got the wind behind him, he's got the smoke behind him. He's got months of training behind him. Whole support crew. Come on, Dan! Come on, Dan! You've done it, mate! $200 meters! Come down. Look at that finish. Oh. Guess your time, mate. Look at that smile. 2:58. 2:58. He's done it.
I can't quite put my finger on how it felt to finish the race. I was stoked, no doubt about that. I'd finally achieved my running dream, one that had eluded me for 6 years, through massive failures and some close calls. Now, no one could ever take the title of sub-3-hour marathon runner from me. But, in all honesty, I'd spent the final 700 metres of the run knowing I'd make it, on the brink of tears. Not because of pride or a sense of relief, but in seeing firsthand how endlessly supportive and generous the important people in my life are. A small group of people had given up their Saturday, facing a cold Western Queensland morning, to put all their focus on making sure I achieved what seemed to me like a very individual and self-centered goal. But here we are, the accomplishments of the morning already almost in the back of our minds, enjoying each other's company, laughing and joking around. The cherry on top of an incredible morning. So, is that it? Mission accomplished? Nothing more to see here? Not even close. Thanks for watching Below 3. Stay tuned for my next running series, Breaking 2, 45.